Hi, Joe from Joe's Firearm Safety here. Today we're going to be going through the loading and unloading procedure for the lever action firearm that you'll be using during the Canadian Firearm Safety Course. So the very first thing that you have to do whenever you pick up any firearm is make sure you go through your axe and your prove. So for this purpose, I'm going to be using that as my safe direction. So I'm pointing the firearm in my safe available direction. I'm going to remove the ammunition by cycling the action several times, at least 2 or 3 times. If nothing is coming out, that should be just fine. Once all the ammunition has been removed, I want to observe the chamber, just the very beginning of the barrel, the first couple inches there. I'll verify the feeding path, which is where the ammunition is coming from, down in this area, and also check the magazine as well. I'll have to close the action in order to take a look inside the magazine to ensure that it's empty. Once that's completed, I want to make sure that I open my action again. I'll do a quick double check about the chamber. Then I want to examine my bore. I prefer to use a cleaning rod. Of course, in the real world, the cleaning rod has to have a tight-fitting patch that fills the barrel completely when you do this. Now the firearm is proof safe and it's ready to be loaded. So before we load this firearm, we want to make sure that we know what ammunition is compatible with it. So we'll look for the data stamp. The data stamp on this firearm is located on the barrel, right here close to the chamber, just below the rear sight. It says Winchester Model 94 3030 Win. Our dummy cartridge here, the head stamp says Winchester 3030 Win, so we know that this is the correct cartridge for this firearm. When you load this firearm, you can load it through the top, which is called single shot style, or you can close the action and load it through the magazine. You push it into the magazine, make sure it's in there all the way. You'll cycle the action once. Sometimes the cartridge gets hung up in here, just a little bit of a wiggle and a jiggle. Usually gets it to close all the way. And the cartridge is now inside the chamber. The last step of your loading procedure, no matter what the firearm is that you're using, will be to engage your safety. The safety mechanism on this firearm is called a half-cock safety. This safety can be a little bit tricky to engage. The way that we engage a safety is that we put our thumb on the hammer, give it a bit of a squeeze. Once we have control of that hammer, we'll actually squeeze the trigger and let the hammer move forward slowly under control. As it starts to move forward, we release the trigger, bring our finger outside the trigger guard again, continue to let the hammer move forward, and it will stop in what's called the half-cock position. This completes the loading procedure for this particular firearm. To unload this firearm, we simply prove it safe again. So I point the firearm in my safest available direction. I remove the ammunition by cycling the action repeatedly. Now, just so we don't have this cartridge flying across the room, I will put a finger over the top of the ejection port. The cartridge will sometimes fall back into the feeding path. Very easy to get it out of there. I'll cycle the action a couple more times just to make sure there's no more ammunition in there. Observe the chamber, verify the feeding path, including the magazine, and examine the bore, either visually or with the cleaning rod. And that is the loading and unloading procedure for the lever action firearm.